Dude, what the heck, Ethan? You're gonna be starting high school. You can't keep waking up at 12 eating ramen for breakfast, man.
Bro, you're literally going into med school. You're doing the same thing.
Shut the fuck up, man. I'm older than you. I can do whatever I want. You have to be my age to do what I'm doing. Actually, come here, sir. Come here, sir. Who let you eat that? Who let you eat that? This kid really thinks he could just do whatever the fuck he wants. Hi guys, my name is Josh and I'm going to be starting med school in the fall. And this is Ethan. He's going to be starting high school in the fall. Now recently my mom caught him ditching school to play Valorant, so she sent him to Philly, that way I could teach him how to study a little bit better. Now I've always been a straight A student and he's always been a straight. Here are a bunch of reasons why I didn't get an A student. And so in this video, I'm going to be showing him the secret sauce to getting good grades, or as I said earlier, the way to the 4.0 GPA. Let's get straight into it. Now, first things first, you can improve your grades just by hanging around other people who get good grades. See, it's really hard to go against the grain of what all your friends are doing, right? So if all your friends are playing video games, you're not going to want to say no and start studying. Stacy, sit down. But if all of your friends are studying during the daytime, you won't want to be the dumbest bitch in the basket, so you'll start studying too. Like, you know who I was friends with in high school, right? Like, I'll put a picture here. I'm not saying to just hang around the smartest people you see. You want to hang around people who are able to succeed in what you want to do. In this case, it's people who care about school a lot and get good grades, but they also know how to balance having fun, playing games, doing all that stuff. Now, the second really important thing you need to know is to try to get in good with your teacher early. Now, when I was in high school, I had two basic rules. The first one was it's better to sit in the front than the back. Now, people like to sit in the back because they want to use their phones and stuff, and the teachers know this. So does that make sense, first of all? Okay. Then also in class, make sure you always try to participate at least once or twice. Once generally, and then another time to like ask a question or something. Now, there's no need to overdo it. Just participate enough that your teacher recognizes you as someone who's active in class. And always make sure to ask your teacher about anything you're unsure about or anything you don't understand. Now, a lot of times you can even come in after school for a little bit and then talk to the teachers. That way they know that you at least care about your schoolwork. You see, teachers like students that are trying and doing well because it makes their jobs a lot easier. And I'm not gonna lie, if in the beginning of the school year the teacher likes you and thinks you're smart and gives you good grades, they'll grade you a little easier as the school year goes on just because they expect good work from you. No, we're not done yet. Don't try to leave. Okay. Now, the third thing is don't procrastinate. Okay, Ethan? The biggest thing that causes people to fall behind in class or start doing really poorly in class is just procrastinating and putting their work off for the last day when things are due, because then things pile up and then you do a crappy job. I've talked about this a little bit before. I don't know if I've talked to you about this, but I find that there are two simple ways to combat this. First is what I call the shitty draft. It's where you start something early, you do a pretty shitty job, but just try to do it as fast as possible. Try to finish the whole thing as fast as possible. And then you come back and edit it later. You see, it's better to have a foundation already laid out that you can fix than to have nothing. And next is always to start your schoolwork within 30 minutes of coming home and not to leave it for later on the night. So when you come home, eat a snack, walk around the house like doing nothing or something. Walk around the house aimlessly for a couple minutes, like you know what I do, and then get straight to work. Does that make sense? Dude, we're not done. Sit back down. Now, the fourth thing is to take all the free points you can get and run. There are a lot of people that you won't necessarily consider that smart in high school that are getting a lot better grades than you for that exact reason. You see, they take all the free homework and participation points they can get, which leaves them with a lot more cushion to do worse on their tests and still get A's. Now, the worst thing you can do is miss a couple of homeworks or lose out on points for things like attendance or participation, because it just makes your life 10 times harder when it comes time to taking tests. Jeez, you're not too patient today. Come on, man, come on. It's not that much longer. The next really important thing to take into account is just spaced repetition and active learning. Now, first of all, spaced repetition is when you review things in increments and not all just in one sitting. So you look at something the first day, you come back to it a day later, then maybe you come back to it a week later, and then maybe you come back to it a month later. So now when you're learning things, make sure you don't just try to memorize everything at once and then set it for the day before, like the test, to review. Make sure you look over something with at least 3 increments before the test day. So you look over the material the first day, that's the first. Then you review it after 2 or 3 days, that's the second increment, right? And then review it a couple days before the test, and that's the third increment. And the more spaces you can introduce, the better. Now, when you're reviewing for a class, don't just reread your notes. Try to actively come up with questions and answer them. Like, let's practice right now. Do you have any questions for me right now? No? No? Okay. Okay, you see, or you can teach someone or just do practice questions that you find. I think that practice questions in general are probably the most important and the most effective way to quickly boost your understanding and your scores. And now the last thing is just that spending 1.25 times effort in class will save you 2 times the time at home. Now, a lot of people hate to pay attention in class, and I can understand why. I know you've been ditching class recently. Mom and Dad told me. A lot of times, it's just boring. But here's the thing. According to no actual studies but my own experience, actually focusing a little extra and trying to learn what your teacher is teaching in class, while it might require a lot more effort from you, it reduces the time you need to review after, and also helps you remember what you learned while reviewing better. You see, it might be because of that thing I mentioned earlier, spaced repetition. I don't know if you remember it. And it's because I like to think of it like this. If you 100% are going to have to spend that time being there in class anyways, you might as well pay attention so you won't have to take time out of your day later that you wanted to spend playing like Valorant or something, right? Don't. Oh, well guys, looks like my brother thought that that was enough advice for a day. Hopefully that will be enough to get him an A, or hopefully that was enough at least to help you guys out, to help you guys get an A. And now I'm going to give you an extra little freebie for free of charge. He doesn't get to hear this one because he ran off. Now, this last piece of advice might help you balance your time a lot better, and that's don't do any extracurriculars just for the sake of doing extracurriculars. Choose a handful of extracurriculars that you actually really enjoy and invest more time into them. Don't just do an extracurricular for the sake of doing an extracurricular. That's the point. Because in the end, it's not about like checking off boxes, right? It's about how much impact you actually have in each extracurricular that you do, right? So just doing a lot more isn't necessarily helpful, and actually might spread you a little too thin. In the end, young one, I would say that this advice is meant to give you an easier time to getting good grades in school. It doesn't mean you won't still have to put in the work necessary to get good grades. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Peace. Bro, wake up. Wake up. You're supposed to help me film, man. Who let you sleep? Who let you sleep on my bed? This is not the way to the 4.0 GPA.
Ow. Can't tell you what the hell. You still can't fucking tell. You're such an idiot, bro. What the fuck is this shit? Yeah. Yeah.